Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got something special for you. That's right, the Sister of Battle just came out. I already opened her. So, this is the brand new Sister Superior. And I'm going to spoil some things really quickly. She is just a Sister Superior with a bolt gun. She is pretty much useless. So, I'm a fan of bolt guns, but there's just a little bit more I want to add to it. A combi melta and a chainsword, because the Sister Superior is nothing without her special weapon, or her combi weapon in this case, and a chainsword. I'm also going to give her a sidearm and a few other things in this conversion video. So this is going to be a rather quick video as we go through this model and just do some quick conversions. So, the conversions that we're going to be doing today. I'm just going to go ahead and put down my combi melta so that we can give her a combi melta, a chainsword, sidearm, and I'm probably going to keep her on the normal base that she comes with because my goal is to get a bunch of these sisters because of easy conversions that I can do with them. I can't really make them as dynamic as I want, so I might get 3 and just use them as Dominion Sergeants, or Sister Superiors in this case. So that's the plan. Let's get 3 of them, let's do them up to look really nice, and let's see where that goes. So this is going to be a rather easy model to work with. Now, this is not the sprue that we're going to be working with. Instead, it is right here. This is Amalia, or Amalia? Amalia, sure. This is it. It's $35 for a simple character, and that's the pretty standard rate for Sisters of Battle at this point. Well, for characters. Now I'm going to show you some cool things like how to replace the helmet, how to replace the head with a helmet, and how to replace the weapons, which is a big thing on this model, which is what we want to do today. So first off, I need to find some bits. Now, I did forget one, so I do apologize, but we are going to need our clippers, something to sand with, an X-Acto knife, some super glue, and some Instaset, because Instaset. So one of the first things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going to a secondary kit. This is the 30K Space Marine set. I think this is Mark 5 armor, and this one's this one's Mark 3, and this one's Mark 4. So I am going to take the Mark 4 bolter for the combi weapon here. We're just going to go ahead and pop that off, and you know what, I'm just going to rip this thing off. And we're just going to clean it up really quickly. So don't really need to worry too much. Now with Amalia's hand, we have to be a little bit careful because the Space Marine hand is actually roughly the same size. I can probably get away with just cutting the hand off and just gluing this there, which, come to think of it, might be the easier solution here. Now, as I said before, I'm giving her combi melta because I want her to be a Dominion Sergeant or Sister Superior. I say Sergeant for everything, like Chasso is a Sergeant, everything's a Sergeant. So, I'm going to go ahead and just glue this gun together really quickly. Get this out of the way as quick as possible so we can actually get to the bulk of the model itself. Because there's not much to this Sister Superior. In fact, there's not too much to her at all. I think they could have like, it is legendary artwork, I will agree with that, but they could have made her a better Sister Superior. Like, give her a relic bolt gun that does just a little bit more damage. That would have been nice. Now, the other thing we're going to cut off from this sprue, this is the Mark III Space Marine sprue, is we're looking for left-handed chainswords. And this is one of the few kits where you can actually get this. Most of the time, you can only find right-handed, in my case. This kit also is really good for picking up chainswords that have nothing on them. No hand, no nothing. This is perfect for putting on the sides of Sister Superiors to give them their chainswords, which I always suggest that you do. It's a free upgrade, so why wouldn't you? And that's pretty much all we need from this sprue. And then we just need a side-holstered bolt pistol, and that's the three bits that we need. Next, I need to go and find an immolator kit. Well, this is a bit unfortunate. I actually don't know where I put my immolator sprue. So unfortunately, we can't put the first plastic sister's head on the now other plastic sister, but that's fine. This is another big deal. She's on a 32. This confirms for me that all sisters will be on 32s because everyone released up until this point has been on 32s, aside from Celestine, who's on a 40. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pop her off of her sprue. And I'm just going to make sure that I've popped this off on camera. And we're just going to get all of these connection points. Boop. And boop. And boop. Okay, let's get that body out. Now, there's not much posability with the legs, unfortunately. And that's a kind of a shame, in my opinion. I really do wish GW would let us pose the legs again. But I understand why they did it for this model. Now, I'm really hoping GW doesn't decide to do this with all of our characters, but at the same time, I kind of want them to. Like, I know that's hypocritical and weird, but hear me out on it. If they did do it, I'm okay with it. If they don't, that's cool too. That's my logic to it. If they do it, yay. If not, okay. Okay, I'm just going to pop this off over here real quick. Then we got the sister's legs. Her cute little butt. She doesn't have too much of a butt. That's a shame. I mean, when I'm in my sororitas armor, I definitely have some butt. A nice butt. Mostly because under my sororitas armor, I actually wear a one-piece suit, a skin-tight suit, so it really shows off everything that is me. Go ahead and just get this ready. So we just get that right in without any problems. Then I'll begin the process of popping this off. I do apologize about the dog downstairs. Let's talk more about sisters. So the size comparison of this sister and Canoness Valerian, I think is her name, confirms two things. One, the sisters are much taller than what they used to be. Like, to the point where old battle sisters may not be able to be used anymore because of how big the size difference is. And of course, somebody's going to drive a dirt bike down the road. That is terrific. I am going to try, and I might do a video on how I'm going to convert all of my sisters to be on 32s and put a little bit of cork on their base to give them the height of the regular sisters. The 32 is actually a hindrance to them, as I've stated before. 32s are not as efficient when it comes to close combat armies, which the Sisters of Battle are strange at because they can be a close combat army, especially with Bloody Rose being one of the primary ones you take. What do they call their chapter tactics? I pretty much call everybody's chapter tactics at this point. They're Ordos. There we go. Bloody Rose being the best, the second best being Ebon Chalice. All the other ones are kind of mediocre at best. There is an argument to be made about, which one is it? Martyred Lady, but Martyred Lady is just so bad. Like, all of them are bad except for Bloody Rose and Ebon Chalice. And I hate to say that because I painted up my sisters to be Bloody Rose. Good thing about it is nobody knows sisters, so no one questions my paint scheme. And no one gets confused when I tell them what my sisters can and can't do. And they're just like, oh, okay. Most of the time my opponents just go, they can do what? How fast can a repressor move? And I'm like, oh, across the entire field turn 1. And they're like, that's not possible. And I'm like, yeah, 24-inch movement is awesome. Taking the line for a 36-inch movement is even better. Granted, they're not as broken as they once were, which is fine. I almost don't want to put this on the base since this thing is almost as big as the base anyway. And it adds too much height, in my opinion. It looks a bit silly. So I might not glue this thing to the base. I know a lot of people are probably just going to do that, but me, I'm not liking it. Okay, so one of the first things I need to do is, let's get this leg on, because the leg doesn't really change anything. I'm just going to pull her off camera for a second. Sorry about that. And we're just going to line that up. Goes right leg. Come on. There you go. There's your leg. All right. So let's dab a tiny bit of glue there and go ahead and get this on. Now with green stuff, you can actually get this leg into a more dynamic pose, I assume. But for right now, she's not really in a dynamic pose. You'd need a good amount of work with some green stuff to do it, but it is possible. She kind of has this really lax stance. Probably, yeah, we'll just go from the bottom with these pegs and just glue them. And I'm going to use a little bit of my Instaset on the bottom here, just to lock her to her base. There we go. Move that off camera real quick. Now I'm not too worried about the stuff that goes on her base. It's not too important. The backpack can go on her. She actually does have quite the hips. Look at that. It's good to see that this sister model actually has, like, it's still a full sister battle, still with the amount of detail that I expect. Because I was a little bit worried, especially with that Retributor, that they would get rid of some of the breastplates and everything like that. And to me, this is proper sisterhood. This is the gothic aesthetic that I really like. And yeah, somebody can make an argument that, oh, it doesn't make sense and whatever. And you know what? I'm sick of hearing that argument, so I just kind of whatever it. Okay, so this bolter is going to be a little bit tricky. So what I want to do is I want to cut the hand right about here. If I mess this thing up, I screw up this entire model. Okay. And there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to dot a tiny bit of glue right in there. A little bit more. Sorry, I'm off camera. Then I'm going to try to finagle this thing into here. Probably should have done this piece first. There we go. I can do if I cut off this purity seal, I can actually rest a bolter like going over her shoulder like I was in the intro. I might just do that. Let's bend this thing a little bit. Or it locked into place, unfortunately. But that's fine because now we have a combi melta on our hand, which we're going to attach really quickly. Boop. And we're going to attach this just a little bit sideways just to show that she is at rest and not too action-y. And I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of Instaset just to get that to lock into place. So now we have her with a combi melta. And the other hand, we're going to cut off as well. And we're going to go ahead. Now another thing that you could do is just glue the chainsword to her. But where's the fun in that? I want to put it in her hand. So, shoosh phone. Let's try to get this. I glued my hands together. This is terrible. Everything is bad. Ah! Stop gluing to my hand, please. Thank you. Okay. Let's get this in there like that. Okay, perfect. And let's actually rest the arm out a little bit, just so it's not fully in that socket. Okay. Just make Give it a little bit of Insta-set. Just get that to where I want it. Alrighty. So I got a little bit of skin, unfortunately, on this. I can sand that out, so I'm not too worried. Exactly what its point is anyway. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the chainsword on. So, sorry, I keep pulling this off camera. Let's go ahead and turn this upside down. Go like this. Nice and easy. There we go. Okay, so now she has a combi melta and the chainsword. This is looking actually really solid. The hands don't look too out of place or too overproportioned. They are a little bit big, but they kind of blend in really well. So, like, looking at it now, yeah, they're big, but it's not overly done, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to look for a place to put her sidearm, which is going to go right. I'm going to cut off this pocket that is on her right here. So let's go ahead and pop that off. And we'll put a little tiny bit of glue there. And then I'm going to slide her pistol on her. There we go. So now she has her pistol, her chainsword, and her combi bolter. Then we might as well just put the backpack on. There's no reason not to. Oh, the backpack can just clip on. That's funny. I might actually leave that just clipped on so I could take it off for painting. Then we just need her head. So, a little dot of glue. And let's have her looking all stoic. There we go. So, that is how you convert. Simple conversion, by the way. Like, people with green stuff, you can probably do this way better than I can. But this is a simple conversion for turning this into a proper Sister Superior, where she has her bolt pistol, chainsword, and a combi melta. This is one of my favorite loadouts for Sister Superiors. Either this or Stormbolter and chainsword. The pieces come from not Forge World. They come from the Mark III and Mark IV Space Marine armor. You can use pretty much any of the bolter variants on this. This one I feel matches my bolter as close as it can, except for, you know, having this scope. Yeah, that was the goal anyway. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this as a cool conversion idea, a cool thing that you can do while sitting at home on your butt. And I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more content from the channel, especially about Sisters of Battle, since they're my main army, please subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. You can find all the links in the description down below. While you're there, you can also check out my Patreon. Patreon goes a long way to helping me out, keeping me buying cool models like this, keeping my lights on and my tummy full, and helping me bring you amazing content. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.